What's going on, folks? Hero Stormwolf here, bringing you guys another review, this time for Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Admittedly, when this game was first announced, I didn't have high expectations for it. For anyone who's followed the Dragon Ball series up into the PS3 and 360 generation, the games have progressively gotten worse and worse and worse, up to a point where we got games like Dragon Ball for Kinect and Battle of Z. Thankfully, Dragon Ball Xenoverse seems to be a first step in the right direction for future Dragon Ball games, although it still doesn't come without its problems.
You're pretty sharp. It must have been you snooping around. I hope you weren't thinking of interfering. That'd be a mistake.
A costly mistake.
The story mode for Xenoverse plays out as a huge what-if scenario. Two demon time travelers by the name of Mira and Toya are going through key events in Dragon Ball history in order to gain enough energy and destroy time itself. Of course, this being very, very evil, you are enlisted by Future Trunks and Supreme Kai of Time as a time patroller in order to make sure the key events in Dragon Ball history actually go the way they're supposed to. This goes into Xenoverse's biggest feature, the ability to create your own character in the Dragon Ball universe. You can choose between 5 different races, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. I can say now that this has been a well-requested feature, and I'm finally glad they decided to do it in the Dragon Ball game. The story mode lasts a total of about 10 hours, and while it's not the best story, I actually do appreciate the effort that they tried to actually bring something new to the Dragon Ball universe. Hopefully this leads to more original storylines to where I actually get more Dragon Ball to enjoy, so I'm actually looking forward to see what they will do in future games if they continue to try and do more original type stories. The way Xenoverse works in terms of gameplay, it sets itself up like a free-to-play MMO, sort of like Vindictus. You'll be placed in the hub world known as Toki Toki City to where you can meet other online players and tackle parallel quests or do online battles. Parallel quests are set up as the side missions of Xenoverse, and you'll be spending a lot of time here. Reason being, this is where you get the bulk of new moves, outfits, Z-Souls, and capsules in order to increase your online character and give them different moves and move sets. The main problem with the parallel quests is that while they are challenging enough and they are fun, the drop rating for some of the items are extremely high, and it kind of reminds me of how Destiny did their RNG generators. Now, for some reason it didn't piss me off as much as it did in Destiny, probably because the core gameplay of Xenoverse is a lot of fun and you can do a lot more in terms of creating your character and a lot more options than Destiny did. Of course, the second part of this is the combat itself. I can say without a doubt that this has been the most fun I've had with a Dragon Ball Z game since probably Tenkaichi 3. And I mean by that is the combos are simple to execute, but with enough timing and effort and the skills you choose with your created character, you can do a lot of devastating combos that a lot of other characters can't do. And it's fun to also test your character against other online created characters to see how you did your build. Does this work? Does this not work? It's a lot of fun and keeps me playing the game over and over again. Of course, this comes with its fair share of problems. The biggest one I've had so far is the camera. Now, it's not as bad as other 3D Dragon Ball Z games, but it's far from perfect either. There will be times where you will be hidden behind a wall or behind another character and you can't see yourself. Problem number 2 is the Super Saiyans. Now, for those who don't know, if you pick a Saiyan, you have the ability to transform into a Super Saiyan. Super Saiyan gives you the ability to spam out any special or ultimate until your ki drains down. This means that if you do it in your base state, it actually takes about 3 bars of ki to use your ultimate. But if you transform into Super Saiyan, you no longer have that restriction. This leads to a bit of balance issues to where people will ultimately spam the Super Vanishing Ball, the Spirit Bomb, the Death Ball, etc., and those moves actually track you and leave you in suspended animation to where you can also be hit by other special moves. This is annoying, it can be dealt with, but expect to see a lot of online Saiyans transform into Super Saiyan and spam their abilities. Problem number 3, as I've already mentioned before, is the random number generator. This needs to be improved. There have been times where you can do a quest 20, 30 times and you'll get no item drops no matter what your ranking is, no matter how well you do the quest. That's a big problem and can really deteriorate from the experience doing the same missions over and over again to try and get a few moves. Finally, the last problem is the Xenoverse servers. While they have been fixed since launch, they still have issues to where you'll be disconnected from matches, or matches will still be played after the game is over, meaning you could defeat the enemy, but for whatever reason, since the Xenoverse servers crashed, you'll see the enemy characters just stuck there and you can keep beating on them and the time running down to 0, but the game doesn't end. Still, even with those problems, I've had a lot of fun with this game, and I can't resist the urge to go in and try and earn new moves, create a new character, and see what I can do differently. Whether do I want an all blast character, do I want a tanky character, etc., etc. It's very addicting and very fun.
I didn't expect to see you here. Frieza! You're going to pay!
With the exception of the new animated cutscenes during the story mode and the new soundtrack going behind the fighting, there's not really much that Xenoverse does to push the envelope, and for some people that may be okay. It looks like the anime, it sounds like the anime, so for those people, hey, you're in luck. It's not much different from the anime. For others, you may want to see a little bit more from the video games. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. It depends on who you are, depending on how you like the presentation. Me personally, I thought it was okay. It doesn't bother me as much. I know what they was going for with the whole animated look, so therefore I know what to expect. Just go in there and knowing that even though if you get the PS4, the Xbox One, or the PC version, it's not going to look as amazing as you think it would. The final verdict for Xenoverse is that this is a fun Dragon Ball Z game. I haven't been able to say that in quite some time, and I'm glad I can say that here today. That being said, if you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan, or if you're not an online player, I would say wait for a price drop because the story mode only lasts for so long. A lot of your time is going to be spent doing the parallel quest and the online battles. Same goes for people that don't actually like to grind a little bit, because the parallel quests are a bit of a grind. There's no going around that. But even with that said, the game is fun. It's definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. I will even say take a look at the season pass, and I don't say that too often. So there you go, that's my review of Xenoverse. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you found it informative or entertaining, which you probably didn't, either way, leave a like or a comment if you want, share it with your friends, let the news out. Let me know what you think of Xenoverse. Let me know your opinions down below in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next review and video. Later.